Right now, here on Game Day Breakfast, we are going to start with the news that emerged yesterday that the Manchester United co-owner, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, has said that the future of under-pressure manager Erik Ten Hag is not his call, he says. The club triggered a 1-year extension in Ten Hag's contract, but the Dutchman has endured a torrid start to this season, and alarming performances against Tottenham and Porto, perhaps, have increased the pressure on his position as manager. Asked if he has faith in Ten Hag, this is what Ratcliffe Cass had to say. I don't want to answer that question. I like Erik. I think he is a very good coach, but at the end of the day, it's not my call. It's the management team that is running Manchester United that have to decide how we best run the team in many different respects.
Yeah.
So, what do you make of those words?
Nice words. Very shallow words, though, I think. And the deeper issue is, I once played under Bernard Tapie at Marseille, and I've spoke about him.
Yeah.
He was quite brutal to his managers and coaches when he was doing a press conference. I'm not saying that's the right way to go about it, but there were some legendary, let's say, interviews where the coach got hammered for the way he was conducting himself and the team, and why he was sacking the new coach or manager. And look, it's very difficult for Ten Hag because they've backed him and he has put a team around him that are going to make decisions. Ultimately, as he's a part owner of the football club, he will have a say in whether Ten Hag stays. That's the bottom line.
I mean, if you are sort of forensically examining what he said, he's not come out and said he's our manager. We're very much happy with him. He's just sort of saying, I'm taking a step back. It's not my call. It has to be the management team's call.
But it will be, ultimately, he'll be part of the call.
Well, of course. But my point is he's not, no, there's no issue here. We're building. We're starting again.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The only thing he said is, I like Erik. That's the only kind of, and that he's a very good coach. But he's not really come out fully supporting him. So is that an issue in itself? Or are we looking into it too deeply?
No, we're looking at it realistically. Man United have had a poor start to the season. They've had roller coaster, chaotic football matches. And Porto was no different. You know, the sending off again. You know, and I know Fernandes, obviously, that was obviously rescinded from the game against Spurs.
Yeah.
So he now is going to face time off the field, Fernandes. But it's been chaotic.
Well, he's back, you mean?
Yeah. Well, when he's back, yes.
Because he's rescinded, so he won't be suspended.
No, I'm talking about the one for the Champions League.
In Europe, yeah, one game.
Yeah, so he's going to miss one game. But,
sorry.
you know, it's chaotic. Everything about Man United is. Yeah. If you take the game against Porto and you watch it, it's carnage. It's no different. They've conceded 3 goals, and you could make a point, and I'm not being anti-Man United here at all, is that the goalkeeper chucked in 2. You know, he chucked in 2, and they weren't great finishes. There were mistakes by the keeper. You can give them credit for getting back into the game, Man United. And
well, they were 2-0 up, though.
Yeah, well, then they go 3-2 down. It looks like it's going to go 4-2 down, and they've ended up scraping a draw from the game. But if you take their season, I don't like looking at 90 minutes. I like looking at over a course and distance, which is last season. And there was a lot of things that are absolutely identical to last season. It was the Champions League performances were identical as last year. I said a couple of weeks ago now, losing to Copenhagen away, losing to I think it was Galatasaray as well, wasn't it? Last year they lost at Old Trafford to Galatasaray. All this chaotic stuff is happening again.
Could get worse before it gets better as well, with heading to Villa tomorrow. Not an easy game, obviously.
It's not an easy game, and Manchester United are going to have to be their absolute best to get a result. Villa have had a day more, which is an advantage because, OK, they might have suffered a couple of injuries, but it's still an advantage, 24 hours in a short amount of time. And Manchester United are struggling in certain positions. The left-back position is an issue, but then you could make an argument defensively, forward line. I mean, apart from the Champions League 3 goals, they haven't scored goals in the Premier League. They've struggled. They've got a goal a game ratio in the Premier League so far, and we're only 6 games through.
Not even that.
Not
5 goals
5
in 6
games. Yeah,
indeed.
So I'm giving them an extra goal, but.
They've been unconvincing so far, certainly. That's fair to say, which is why the speculation continues over the future of Erik Ten Hag.
My argument all the time would be, this is one of the biggest clubs in world football. If it's Barcelona, if it's Real Madrid, if it's Bayern Munich, if it's PSG or Juventus in any major league, if that club was struggling, there would be scapegoats, whether it's players, whether it's managers.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.